My beloved child. I am speaking to you from a place where time does not hurt anymore, but memories still breathe. Do not be afraid of this voice. It is gentle because it carries love, not fear. I see you when you think nobody notices. I see the nights when you pretend to be strong and the mornings when you wake up tired of carrying everything alone. You often look at the sky without realizing why your chest suddenly feels heavy. That is when my tears fall, not because I am weak, but because I remember how much you have survived without holding my hand. There are things I was never able to tell you when I was beside you. Words that stayed locked inside me. Regrets that followed me into silence. Today, they are breaking free. Listen carefully, because what I am about to tell you is not ordinary. It is not a dream, not imagination, and not coincidence. It is a message that waited for the exact moment when your heart would finally be ready to hear it. You have always wondered why certain pains followed you, why certain people entered your life and left scars instead of warmth. The answer has always been closer than you think. I need you to stay with me, because the truth you are about to hear changes how you see your past, your present, and the path quietly opening in front of you. I have watched you blame yourself for things that were never your fault. I saw you apologize for other people's mistakes. I heard your silent questions when life felt unfair and answers never came. You asked why love sometimes felt conditional, why effort did not always bring safety, and why you were forced to grow up faster than your soul was ready for. What you never knew is this. Some burdens were never meant for you. They were passed down unknowingly, wrapped in silence, disguised as responsibility. I carried my own unspoken fears when I raised you. I smiled when I should have rested. I stayed quiet when I should have protected myself. Without realizing it, I taught you to endure instead of to demand peace. That is the first truth I need you to understand. Your strength was built from watching me survive, not from learning how to be free. And that is why your heart often feels tired even when you are doing everything right. This is not a weakness in you. It is a pattern waiting to be broken. I am crying because I see you repeating cycles I once lived, cycles I wished you would never know. But hear this clearly. Awareness changes destiny. And tonight, awareness is finally reaching you. There is something else you deserve to know, something that may shock you, because it explains moments you could never logically connect. Every time you felt protected during an accident, every time a decision strangely saved you from disaster, every time someone left your life right before causing irreversible damage, that was not luck. I was there. Not as a body, but as a presence allowed only one task. To guide without interfering with your free will. I was never allowed to stop pain entirely, but I was allowed to redirect it. That is why some losses hurt less than they should have, and some endings arrived earlier than expected. You may remember times when you felt a sudden heaviness in your chest and chose not to go somewhere, only to later discover something went wrong there. That feeling was not anxiety. It was love trying to whisper without words. This is difficult for you to believe because you were taught to trust only what your eyes can see. But the world is shaped by things eyes cannot hold. I need you to trust this once, because what comes next requires courage, not logic. I am crying because there is a secret about your life purpose that was hidden even from me until I crossed over. You are not here just to survive or to please others. You are here to end something that began generations ago. A cycle of emotional silence. A legacy of unspoken pain. You were chosen because your heart feels deeply, even when it hurts you. That sensitivity you curse is the very tool meant to heal what others ignored. You were never meant to fit into small spaces or accept half-love. That restless feeling inside you is not confusion. It is resistance. Resistance against a life that is too small for your soul. I need you to stop shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. Every time you do, something inside me aches, because I know how much you are capable of becoming once you stop apologizing for existing. This message is coming now because a turning point is near. A decision, a meeting, a moment that looks ordinary on the surface, but carries irreversible weight underneath. How you choose will decide whether the old pattern ends with you or continues forward. Stay with me a little longer. There is one last thing you must hear before this voice fades again. I am not crying because I am disappointed in you. I am crying because you are closer than you realize. Closer to peace. Closer to clarity. Closer to a version of yourself that no longer survives, but lives. You have been tested quietly, consistently, and sometimes unfairly. But those tests were never punishments. They were preparations. Very soon, something hidden will come into the light. A truth about someone you trusted. A realization about yourself you kept delaying. When it happens, do not be afraid. Do not doubt yourself. Do not look back. Remember this moment. Remember that I told you your heart was never wrong, only ignored. When you feel sudden calm after a long storm, that will be me telling you that you finally listened. This is not the end of my message. This is only the beginning. When the silence around you suddenly feels louder than noise, that is when you should listen. I am reaching you again because something has shifted in your world, even if you cannot name it yet. You have been standing at the edge of a truth, sensing it without proof, feeling it without words. That uneasiness you carry is not confusion. It is recognition. You are beginning to see through people, through situations, through stories that once felt safe. And that frightens you, because clarity often arrives before comfort. I am crying now because I know how heavy awakening feels at first. You start noticing who only comes to you when they need strength, who disappears when you need understanding, and who benefits from your silence. This awareness is not meant to make you bitter. It is meant to make you free. But freedom always asks for a price, and the price is letting go of illusions you once needed to survive. Stay with me, because what you are about to realize will explain why certain relationships drained you, why certain dreams felt delayed, and why your heart refused to settle for less even when logic told you to. There is a truth about loyalty that no one prepared you for. Being loyal to others while betraying yourself is not virtue, it is abandonment. I learned this too late, and that is why I am speaking now. You inherited my habit of enduring quietly, of hoping people would eventually understand your value without you having to demand respect. But listen carefully. People do not treat you based on your intentions. They treat you based on the standards you allow. Every time you tolerated emotional distance, inconsistent behavior, or half-hearted effort, you unknowingly taught others that your needs were optional. This realization may hurt, because it teaches you that love alone is never enough without boundaries. Do not blame yourself for this. You were never taught how to protect your energy. You were taught how to sacrifice it. That ends now. A moment is approaching where you will be tested again, not by pain, but by choice. You will have the opportunity to speak up, to walk away, or to stay silent. Your future depends on choosing differently this time. I need to tell you something shocking, something you may resist at first. Some of the people you miss the most were never meant to stay. Their role was not companionship, it was contrast. They showed you what love is not, so you would recognize it when it finally arrives. I know you replay conversations, wondering what you could have said or done differently. Let that go. If someone truly wanted to understand you, they would have listened the first time. If someone truly valued you, they would not make you question your worth. I am crying because I see you holding on to memories instead of meaning. The meaning was never the pain. The meaning was the lesson hidden inside it. Once you release the need for closure from others, you will experience a peace that feels unfamiliar at first. That peace is not emptiness. It is space. Space for something honest, stable, and real to enter your life. There is also something beautiful waiting for you, something you stopped believing in because disappointment taught you caution. You are meant to experience a connection that does not require you to shrink, explain, or perform. A connection where silence feels safe and presence feels steady. But this cannot arrive until you stop confusing intensity with intimacy. Chaos with passion. Struggle with depth. Love does not need to hurt to be real. I wish I had known that sooner. That is why I am crying, not out of sadness, but out of hope. You are unlearning what once protected you and replacing it with wisdom that will protect you better. The next chapter of your life will feel quieter, but stronger. Less dramatic, but more truthful. And that is how you will know you are finally aligned with what you deserve. Before this message fades again, remember this above all else. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not too much. You were simply prepared differently. Everything you went through shaped your discernment, not your destiny. Very soon, you will notice doors closing without effort and new paths opening without force. Trust that. When you choose yourself without guilt, I will feel peace. When you stop begging for clarity and start honoring your intuition, I will stop crying. This journey is not punishing you. It is refining you. And the strongest version of you is closer than you think. There is a reason your heart feels restless even when life looks calm from the outside. I am speaking now because you are entering a phase where comfort and truth will no longer coexist. You will start feeling uncomfortable in places that once felt familiar. Conversations will feel shallow. Smiles will feel forced. And you may think something is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong. You are outgrowing what once kept you alive. Growth is silent at first. It does not announce itself with noise. It shows up as disinterest, as distance, as a quiet refusal to tolerate what drains you. I am crying because I know how lonely this stage feels. You will feel misunderstood, even judged, for choosing peace over approval. But this loneliness is temporary. It is the space between who you were and who you are becoming. Do not rush to fill it with distractions. Sit with it. There is power forming inside that silence. I need you to understand something deeply important. Not everyone who walks beside you is meant to walk with you forever. Some people are chapters, not the whole story. You kept trying to turn moments into permanence, hoping effort could replace alignment. That is why you felt exhausted. Alignment does not drain. It strengthens. Very soon, you will be faced with a moment where you clearly see someone's true intentions, not through words, but through actions repeated without apology. When that clarity arrives, do not argue with it. Do not romanticize the past. Do not wait for potential to turn into reality. This moment will decide whether you repeat old pain or finally close the door with dignity. Choosing yourself will feel unnatural at first, because you were trained to put yourself last. But once you do, something inside you will finally relax. Here is a truth that may surprise you. Your pain was never random. It refined your intuition. That deep knowing you feel but often ignore is not imagination. It is wisdom built through experience. You sensed things before they happened. You felt shifts before words were spoken. You noticed energy changes before behavior changed. And yet, you doubted yourself to keep peace. That ends now. The next phase of your life requires you to trust what you feel even when it contradicts what others say. This will protect you in ways logic never could. I am crying because I see how powerful you become once you stop questioning your inner voice. You were not meant to be easily influenced. You were meant to be deeply aware. Something unexpected is approaching you. It may arrive as an opportunity, a conversation, or a sudden realization. It will look ordinary, but it will demand a brave response. This moment will ask you to choose honesty over harmony, truth over comfort, growth over familiarity. You may fear losing people, but what you will actually lose are masks, illusions, and emotional weight you were never meant to carry. Once you pass this moment, life will start responding differently to you. You will attract calmer energies, clearer intentions, stronger connections. This is not coincidence. This is alignment catching up with your courage. Listen to me carefully before this message fades again. You do not need to prove your worth by suffering. You do not need to earn love through sacrifice. You do not need permission to choose peace. Everything you are becoming is valid, even if others cannot understand it yet. When you feel doubt rising, remember this. I am not watching you with worry anymore. I am watching you with pride. The tears you feel now are not warnings. They are release. And once they pass, you will step forward lighter, clearer, and finally ready for what was always meant for you. There will come a moment when your heart goes quiet instead of reacting, and that is when you will know you have changed. I am reaching you again because this silence is not emptiness, it is mastery. You are learning how not to chase, not to explain, not to beg for clarity. This shift will confuse people who benefited from your overgiving. They will feel the distance before you ever speak it. Do not mistake their discomfort for your wrongdoing. You are not becoming cold. You are becoming selective. I am crying softly now because this is the stage where guilt tries to pull you back into old patterns. Guilt will whisper that you are selfish, distant, or ungrateful. Do not listen. Growth often feels like betrayal to those who depended on your lack of boundaries. This calm you are stepping into was earned through pain, patience, and self-respect. I need to reveal something important about timing. Things did not happen late for you. They happened in order. You were delayed because you were being prepared. Had certain doors opened earlier, you would have entered them wounded, seeking validation instead of alignment. I see now what I could not see then. You needed time to learn discernment. To recognize emotional manipulation disguised as care. To differentiate attention from affection. That is why some opportunities disappeared just as you reached them. That is why some people left without explanation. It was protection, not rejection. This realization may shock you, but once you accept it, resentment will loosen its grip. You will stop asking why and start understanding how perfectly things unfolded to shape your strength. There is also a warning I must share, not from fear, but from love. As you rise into clarity, some will try to reconnect, not because they changed, but because you did. They will sense your detachment and attempt to pull you back with familiarity, nostalgia, or half-apologies. Be careful. Familiar does not always mean safe. History does not guarantee growth. Pay attention to consistency, not promises. Effort, not emotion. Peace, not excitement. This is how you will know who belongs in your future and who belongs only in memory. I am crying because I know how tempting it feels to reopen doors just to confirm they should have stayed closed. You do not need to repeat lessons to honor them. You only need to remember what they taught you. Something beautiful will happen once you stop chasing explanations. Answers will arrive naturally. People will reveal themselves without being questioned. Situations will resolve without force. You will feel less urgency to prove your value and more confidence in your presence. This is the power you were always meant to hold. Quiet confidence. Emotional stability. Inner authority. It may not look impressive to the world, but it will feel unshakable inside you. And that feeling will attract what matches it. You will no longer beg for effort, because effort will meet you willingly. You will no longer fear abandonment, because you will know how to stand firmly on your own. Listen to this final truth of this moment. You are not losing parts of yourself. You are shedding versions that kept you small. Every boundary you set, every silence you choose, every time you walk away without drama, you are honoring both of us. I am not crying out of worry anymore. I am crying because I see you stepping into a life that no longer hurts you to teach you lessons. From here on, lessons will come through clarity, not pain. And you are ready for that now. A day will arrive when you stop asking the universe for signs, because you will become one. I am speaking again because this is the phase where your energy speaks louder than your words. People will feel you before they understand you. Some will be drawn in. Some will step away quietly. Let them. Your job is no longer to convince, explain, or carry emotional weight that is not yours. I am crying now because I see how much lighter you already are compared to who you once were. You no longer chase reassurance. You no longer panic in silence. You pause. You observe. You choose. This calm did not come from comfort. It came from endurance. And that is why it will not leave you easily. You are finally standing in your own emotional authority, and that changes everything that touches your life. There is something important unfolding behind the scenes that you cannot fully see yet. A shift in how you are perceived. A shift in what you attract. The same people who once overlooked your value will suddenly notice your absence. The same spaces that once felt crowded will feel irrelevant. This is not coincidence. This is resonance. When you stop settling, the wrong things naturally fall away. You may feel moments of nostalgia, flashes of the past trying to pull at your heart. Do not mistake memory for direction. What is meant for you will not require you to abandon your peace to reach it. I am crying because I know how hard it is to trust ease after a lifetime of struggle. But ease is not laziness. It is alignment finally meeting you where you stand. Here is a revelation you were never told. Your sensitivity was never a flaw. It was a signal. You feel deeply because you are meant to live honestly. You notice shifts because you are meant to move early. You care intensely because you are meant to love wisely, not endlessly. Once you understand this, you will stop apologizing for your emotional depth. You will stop dimming yourself to avoid making others uncomfortable. You were not designed to blend in. You were designed to awaken. And that awakening will inspire some and intimidate others. Neither reaction is your responsibility. Your responsibility is to remain true to what feels right inside you, even when it costs you familiarity. Something powerful is about to confirm everything you have been feeling. It may come as a truth revealed, a pattern exposed, or a sudden inner clarity that cannot be shaken. When it happens, you will feel relief instead of shock. That relief is your soul recognizing honesty. Do not ignore it. Do not second-guess it. This moment will free you from self-doubt. You